Hey, what's cracking, guys? It's your boy MatteTCG, and I have my friend here who caught the W at one of the Digimon in-store championships. So if you want to get into the deck profile, let's just start right away. Don't want to wait for it, so let's go.
Alright, sup nerds, I've got a Lord Knight deck profile for you guys. So to start off, I'll go with the eggs. I've got 4 Upamon. This is not standard. Most people play the 4 Pikmon, 1 Koromon. I like the 4 Upamon because I just want to have cards in my hand to play off Lordknightmon. If you just have more bodies on the field, you're usually ahead, because not only do your bodies delete your opponent's Digimon, they also set up your Spile Masquerades, so you just want to spam the board as much as possible, and this just helps you get good bodies in your hand to do that. And for my 5th deck, I have 1 Pikmon. This is a really consistent trigger. So the reason why I don't play 4 of this is because the main reason to use this is to hit that 5k DP depletion mark. But I don't really think that's very necessary in this format because a lot of people are playing with 6k blockers to play around that. And also, if they're going to have a 5k blocker, you're just going to run over it anyways, the Lordknightmon, and they'll be behind anyway. So don't really fret about the minus 1000 effect. It's good, you can play like 4 Pikmon, 1 Koromon, but I think that the way to go is just have a lot of cards in your hand, and Upamon's just a lot better for that. And for my rookies, I've got 4 Kodamon. This is probably the best starter in the whole game, I'd say, because you can get 2 cards in your hand, you dig for Lordknightmon. Even if you don't reveal any warriors or holy warriors, you dig through 5, and it just gets you faster into your Lordknightmon. And this is like one of the best things to play off of Lordknightmon anyways, because again, it just gives you more cards.
So you're just more focusing on advantage, card advantage, rather than like more DP depletion.
Yeah, this is a control deck, and you just want to like outpace your opponent on the field, because when you're playing against Rookie Rush, what they're going to do is they're going to have a bunch of bodies and then Masquerade you. You want to beat them to the punch, so you want to spam your bodies and Masquerade them first. So that's the core strategy of this deck.
Yes, sir.
And then for the DP depletion, I have 4 Starmons. Starmon's broken card. Once you have a bunch of Digimon, you just play one of these. You can play it, hard play it, or get it off Lordknightmon. Clear pretty much anything. I should go over the effects. So what this does is for every Digimon you have, you do 1000 DP on any Digimon your opponent has, and it counts himself as well. So this is a really strong card. And I have 3 Bushi Agumon. I don't really think you need 4 because it costs so much to hard play, but this one ends games. You want at least 2 in your deck. I play the 3rd just to get another rookie number in there, and usually you use this to push for game. There's not much better rookies in this deck. There's only like 1 other good rookie, but this is one of the best ones to play because you can always steal games with Blinding Ray or TK. And then the last one I have is 4 Pulsman. Everyone knows this card because it's so expensive, but what it does is when you play it, you draw a card if you have 3 or more security. If you have 3 or less, you gain memory, and if you're at exactly 3, you get both effects. So this one provides a lot of value. If you're a poor player, budget player, or a new player and you don't have these, don't fret. You can play something like Cutemon. I actually played Cutemon during the first store championship I went to, and it's pretty good because you counter Nidhoggmon, which is a pretty good counter to this deck, and it covers other niche decks like Imperial Dramon and Lilith Loop, and in my store tournament, those 2 decks were actually the top decks. So I think those are also, I think Cutemon's a good budget option instead of Pulsmon if you don't have these. But if you do have these, play 4 because it's one of the best starters. And that's all for the rookie lineup. I don't play any of the recovery cards like Lucamon or Padmon. I don't like Padmon because it's like so situational. You need to be at like 1 security or something.
Oh yeah.
And then so it's like too situational for me.
No Tsukaimons either.
Tsukaimon, you don't really need it because like Pulsmon is like a better Tsukaimon.
Okay.
Like in the late game. And Lucamon, the reason I don't like him is because you can't evolve onto him. The best play you want to do with the Lordknightmon deck is to swing the Lordknightmon, play a level 3 rookie, and then turn that into like a Unimon. But you can't do that with Lucamon. So I think Lucamon's only good if you expect a lot of security control, so you have a big beater, but besides that, I don't really think you need Lucamon. So my build is actually really budget compared to a lot of other players. So for the champions, I have 4 Unimon. This is the best level 4 in the whole deck because for 2 reasons. One, it's 6k. So like I said, the Lordknightmon matchup, what they usually do is they do 5k damage, usually through Nightmon or War Growlmon, and then they'll have Egg, which does the last 1000. So if you have a champion that's 6k, that's really good in this format, and so that's why Unumon's the best blocker, because it's the only blocker that'll survive like against the mirror match.
Even against like Omnimon, Ultra Rest. And,
Yeah, there's other decks like Shoutmon, they kill 5k, Nitogmon, it shuffles back 5k, Ultra S kills 5k. So 6k is like the magic number of this format for champions. I also play 2 Gladimon. So I'm gonna talk about the theory behind yellow in general. When you play yellow, you want to go second, because the player who brings out their Lordknightmon first is at a disadvantage, because you're probably going to lose your Lordknightmon to your opponent's play. So it's usually better to go second in this deck, because imagine if you went first, you Digivolve into a rookie, you Digivolve into like a 1 cost. That's like the ideal scenario, and you leave your opponent at 1. But what if you brick? What if you don't open that combo? Then you have to hard play like a level 5 or 6. So your optimal hand is like not a huge advantage. It just puts them at 1. But if you have a bad hand, you have to give them like 5 or more memory, and then you just lose the game. So I want to go second. I want to play 2 costs level 4s like Unimon and Gladimon, because that way if I'm put at 1, if they're good hand, I'll just counter them and put them to 1 back. And so that's why I think 2 cost champions are really good in this deck. And this card is also really good against security control, because it only costs 4, and you can just hard play this, add Lordknightmon, Nightmon, and so this is a really great card. You could actually like bump this up to 4. It just depends what you're looking for the level 4s. And yeah, so that's all I have to say about this card. I've got 2 Torigoth. Like I said, 6k DP is really good. Dodges a lot of stuff. And then I play 2 Pedomon because I wanted 6 blockers in the deck in total. I'll just go over my champions again. So if you'll notice, I have 4 Unimon because that's the best champion in the deck. And then I have 2 Gladimon that are 2 costs. And then I have 2 Torigoth that are 2 6k Digimon. And I have 2 Pedomon, which are 2 blockers. So when you think about it, I technically have like 6 copies of Unimon, depending on what aspect you're looking for. So I have 6 blockers, I have 6 6k Digimon, and I have 6 2 costs. So that's the way I decided my champion lineup.
So it like kind of fits almost for every situation that's presented to you.
Yeah, so like I maxed out Unimon, and then I have like a bunch of bad Unimon. And so the core strategy of this deck is to make Lordknightmon, and when you swing with Lordknightmon, you spam this guy, because Lordknightmon can just play any warrior from your hand. And so you just swing with Lordknightmon, play this, and you deplete something by 4k. And this thing is broken because you get to level 5 for free. You can make another Lordknightmon or any other level 6 right away. So that's why you have to max out on this. And then my other level 5 is for War Growlmon. This just get the same effect as Nightmon, because this also depletes your opponent's Digimon by 4k. When I think about other level 5s like Angelmon and stuff like that, I don't think you really need that. I don't think you need... I think any other like level 5, like the Sirenmon, like people hard play the Sirenmon. I think that's not a great strategy. Like they play it to not brick because it's a low cost level 5, but if you give them 5 on your first turn, you're probably still going to lose anyways. So I would just go max out on like the consistent effect. I wouldn't play any gimmicky stuff like that. And then so for my level 6s, I have 4 Lordknightmon, best card in the game. You swing something, you play any level 3 yellow Digimon for free, you play any warrior for free, and then it just gets bigger and bigger. It gains 1,000 for every other Digimon you have on both turns, so it's just really broken, advances your game state, and it's hard to get over. And one thing I'll mention is the ideal board you want to make for the mirror match is to play level 3 and make a 6k blocker, so Unimon, because that way when your opponent makes a Lordknightmon, they can't just swing over and like play something to deplete your Lordknightmon. So in the mirror match, you always want to like keep it in your raising area for as long as possible and wait for your opponent to commit and then just delete their board. So that's how you play this deck, basically. And then for my other level 6s, I have 1 Wargreymon. This is a tech for the mirror match because if you're behind, then it doesn't matter if they have a big board because this guy depletes them by 6k. So you can just beat over a big Lordknightmon, and being 6k depletion, it kills Unimon. So this counters like every problem that the Lordknightmon matchup gives you, and it's just a good card to consider for other matchups like green, because like you lose primarily to green for like the non-mirror match. You lose to green because Nitogmon will shuffle your whole deck, or like put the cards back in the deck, and Lordknightmon's always suspended. But this one, you don't have to be suspended. So this is a good tech if you're struggling in screen or in the mirror match. So definitely like play at least 1 or 2 of this. And then my last level 6 is Slash Digimon. A lot of people play like 3 or 4. I didn't have the room for this because I play 4 Masquerade. This card to me is an option card. It's like a bad option card because you have to build up to kill something. And this is a strong effect, but like, why would I play a bunch of this when I can max on Masquerade, which is live at any time in the game, right? So that's why I ran out of room, and I don't play Valdararm, so it's like, I don't want to play a lot of this because there's no value out of this. If I brick and I don't have any level 6s, I have to make this, then what am I going to do with this? I'm not going to swing with 8k every turn, so I wouldn't play a lot of this card. And then after that, like I said, so Slash Angemon's a bad option card. This is a good option card. This is the most broken option card. Whether you have like a Lordknightmon board or if you just like have a bunch of rookies, you can just nuke whole fields with this. And this card actually does something in security. That's the problem Yellow used to have. It's like they didn't have anything good for security, but now your opponent has to think twice about attacking you. So I think this is the best card to max out before you play any Slash Angemon or any Valdararm, because this is live much earlier than those cards. And then I play 3 Blinding Ray because Bushi for game is amazing. It's like, yeah, this deck runs on the 3 cost, so if you're at 1, you can just drop a Blinding Ray and then just make a Lordknightmon and kill your opponent. So yeah, play 3 or 4 of this. There's not a lot of Gausimon or Terriermon either, so like it's pretty safe to play a lot of these. And this one's kind of weird. I play 4 TK. Most people would play 3, I think, but for me, I just want to open this, so because when you think about it, this is like an engine piece on top of being a memory tamer. So even if you don't open a rookie, or if you're missing like one part of your evolution line, this card is just really great to have at turn 1. So that's why I want to have this every turn 1, basically. And also, it's the same thing, like I said, like Yellow has no good security cards, because when they hit this, then you go up to 3 memory at the start of your turn, and you gain a card. So I think this is like one of the best cards to have. If you really don't like the 4th one, because you're afraid of bricking with multiple, just play 4th Blinding Ray. And that's about it for the deck profile.
One thing I recognize, you don't play any level 7s.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned this before. Want to tell us why?
So the only level 7 that Yellow has is Valdararm. So my main issue with that is you don't want to make a Valdararm on top of your Lordknightmon, because your Lordknightmon is what's getting you advantage. It can often be bigger than Valdararm if your field's big enough. So I feel like if you're playing Valdararm, you're making your field weaker a lot of the time, and then it's only good if you play a lot of Slash Angemon, but I don't think Slash Angemon's that good, like I said, so that's why I don't really play level 7. You don't really need it, because Lordknightmon will just win you the game once you get there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's like a kind of a slow snowballing kind of thing.
Yeah, you just want to gain advantage, you just want to make a big field, whether through Lordknightmon or hard playing a lot of rookies, and then you just Masquerade your opponent, and then you just swing for game all at once.
Okay, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to show us your first place store championship Lordknightmon deck. Again, we're on the road to 100 subscribers, so again, comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you again, and we'll see you for the next video.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.